All right, so here we are. This is our second podcast. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Sarah.
Okay. What are we talking about today, Sarah?
I was thinking we could talk about vegan fitness as it relates to like soy and protein and things like that. It's like obviously kind of a common idea that vegans don't get enough protein, or vegans must be necessarily weak, or they're just not able to fulfill any sort of like active physical athletic roles because we just eat plants.
Right. I mean, especially in like the activities that you do, like weightlifting and like your interest in bodybuilding. I feel like I've heard in the past some like shit about how, you know, you gotta eat so much meat, you gotta eat 500 grams of protein, and it better all be chicken or something.
Oh my god, yeah. No, because I like powerlifting. I'm not any good at it, but I like it. And a girl told me that in order to be a halfway decent powerlifter at my size, which is I'm 5 feet 4 inches and like 130, 140 pounds, like at my size, I need 500 grams of protein a day.
Right.
I get right around 100 on a pretty good day. So 500 is like, I can't even imagine, like I can't even think of how many calories that is. I think that's actually 2,000 calories
of just protein.
Just protein.
Yeah. And I know like, especially the bro dudes, they eat like, I don't know, a chicken breast or 3 with every meal, and like protein shakes and like protein bars, and they must be shitting all the time.
Oh yeah, no, protein shit and protein farts is like a thing.
Yeah.
But only with like the protein powders, because those have like, those are like made with like, I don't want to say chemicals, but like they're made with like man-made stuff, whereas like chicken and beef and meat is usually the opposite. Usually they're like, they have problems shitting because there's no fiber.
Oh yeah, especially like red meat or something. Like I know it's like a joke in King of the Hill. Like he ate so much beef that it got like clogged up in his colon and he couldn't shit. So I don't know. That could be a thing. But
yeah, no, fiber helps you shit.
Yeah, and meat doesn't have fiber.
Any fiber.
Okay. So yeah, in your activity, like definitely eating meat and just protein is such a big deal, and I guess people don't really think vegans get any protein. Like, where would we get protein from?
Yeah, it's like super normal for people that do what I do, which is like super regular, fairly intensive strength training, to get up in the morning and eat eggs or egg whites. Usually they'll like do something fun, like mix it into their like oatmeal, or like just they make eggs all sorts of different ways, and then eat like chicken breasts in the afternoon, and all sorts of just like fucking meat all the time. And that's not what I do, obviously. Like being vegan, I get, like I said, like 100 grams or so of protein a day just by like living and like eating pretty regular foods.
Yeah. So where do you get your protein? LOL. How do you get protein?
Okay, so I get a lot of my protein from mock meats and soy products.
Okay.
Which you're told, depending on who you ask, it's either really good for women to get protein from soy or really bad for women to get protein from soy.
Right.
Depending on who you ask. Every so often somebody goes, oh, you can't do that, that's bad for women, you'll get breast cancer if you do that. And then every so often somebody will be like, oh, well, it's fine for you as a girl, but like men shouldn't do that.
Right. Soy boys.
Yeah.
Which I guess I am a soy boy.
You are. You're in good company. Soy, I don't understand the full science of it, but it has phytoestrogens.
Okay.
And that word estrogen gets people real fucked up.
Right.
And makes them think that like they're gonna grow titties or something from eating soy.
Neither of us grew titties.
No. I stand here firmly. Listen, if there was a food that I could eat to get titties, I would have found it in the 7th grade.
Right.
I wouldn't be 24 eating soy protein and being like, wow, suddenly I have boobs. Like, that's not how that happens.
Yeah. No, I don't have titties, and I'm still, like, super hairy and gross. So I think I must have plenty of testosterone.
You have plenty of testosterone.
Yeah.
And really, the amount of phytoestrogens that you need to get from soy in order for it to like negatively affect you hormonally, from what I understand, because I'm not a scientist, but from what I understand from people that are scientists, is absolutely astronomical. Like,
Yeah.
you need to just be eating pounds and pounds of just like soy, just
Yeah.
soy all the time, every single day. And we come pretty fucking close. But like, being that we don't get all of our protein from soy, and all of our protein comes from different sources, like, you do want a varied diet. And like, obviously I say I get a lot of my protein from soy and mock meats, but the mock meats do have a combination of different types of protein.
Okay.
Usually the main ones are soy protein, pea protein, and brown rice protein,
All right.
which I think that all of the Beyond products have some sort of combination of soy and pea protein,
Right.
which like pea protein, when you have it in like protein powder, is like nasty.
Okay, it's nasty for you.
It doesn't taste like nothing.
Okay.
It tastes like something.
Yeah. Pea protein is fine. All the proteins are fine. But you particularly don't like pea protein. But you're
No.
okay with it in the Beyond.
Yeah, because it doesn't have that taste in the Beyond. Because when it's in protein powders, particularly like cheaper protein powders that are more like pea protein based, or like didn't do a good of enough job like engineering the flavors,
Yeah.
the pea protein tastes like shit. It tastes extra nasty.
Yeah. And I disagree. So, there you go.
Even in the super cheap protein powders, like those True Nutrition ones, like, not to like negative name drop.
I don't know. I prefer the pea protein to soy protein, like powder. I think I don't like the soy protein powder. And anyway, it doesn't matter. Like, everyone's going to be different, and
Right.
that's fine that you think it's gross, but, you know, pea protein isn't gross.
Okay, it's not gross. I don't like it
Animal
in
protein is gross.
That's actually what's gross, is animal protein. And like, you see, like, the bodybuilders are coming up with all sorts of shit lately. Like, I saw a couple years ago was like, I got like a marketing email for cricket protein.
Oh, yeah.
Protein,
the bugs.
protein powder.
Yeah.
It's like fucking crickets.
Yeah. There was like a whole agricultural like scientist movement or whatever about like growing bugs for protein. Like, every house could have a tank with like some mealworms and like grind it up and eat it. And isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah. But like, I'm not surprised,
Yeah.
because like, we really think that bugs don't feel pain.
Right.
And like, obviously we couldn't have factory farms in our houses, and like, most people don't live on actual farms, like factory or no. Like, most people don't live on farms, and I don't think most people could actually handle it. But having like a little bug farm in your home, like, what, we kill bugs all the time that come into our house, so like, it wouldn't be weird,
Yeah.
because you don't think they feel pain.
I mean, I think the eating them part is weird regardless if you think they feel pain or not. But I don't know. It just feels like they're so against soy or like other forms of protein that they would rather eat and grow mealworms than like focus on
Plant protein.
legumes and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
No, like, I don't care like what you think about like soy or pea protein or brown rice protein or fucking cashew protein or hemp protein, or just, there's a fucking laundry list of different ways that you can get like plant protein powder specifically,
Yeah.
or plant like milk. There's a billion ways, and people are so either grossed out or freaked out by those that they'd rather eat fucking crickets.
Yeah. There was like a Casey Neistat episode a while back when Dan Mace first got on his channel, and they went to try these Impossible Burgers, I forget where it was, and Dan like refused to try it. He didn't want the fake burger. It was so gross, and I feel like that's really common.
No, we
People-
saw a guy in Chipotle telling his dad that, like, he'd bring
Yeah.
his like elderly, not like super elderly, but old enough dad that he'd like never been to Chipotle before.
Yeah.
And he was like telling him how to order, and he saw sofritas on the
Right.
menu, and he was like, "Can I try that?" And like, you know, at Chipotle they give you the little like cup to try
Right.
the meats or whatever. And the younger son, who's like clearly in his 20s, maybe early 30s, was like, "It's not real, Dad. It's not real. It's not real
Yeah.
meat. It's fake meat. It's vegan. It's not real."
Yeah.
Like, bitch, let him try the sofritas.
It's a huge like warning for your bros, you know, if you're like you don't want to fuck up and let them eat a plant. Like it's not real.
Which is wild because, like, what else do you get at Chipotle? You don't just get your steak and then queso and cheese and sour cream. Like, no, you put that steak in a bed of rice and beans. You put it with
Yeah.
lettuce. You put it with salsa and corn and shit. Like, you want it to taste good, so you put plants on it.
Right.
Not that Chipotle is bad at flavoring their meat, but they flavor it with plants.
Yeah, they don't They don't flavor it with other meat. I mean, I don't think so.
I don't know what the fuck
It'd
they
be a
use,
little
but I
extra.
know they use spices,
This
and
is-
spices are plants.
Barbacoa flavored with fish.
Ew!
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels like so sad that there's a whole community, and like I'm really picking on bros, but that feels like the easy low-hanging fruit here.
It's really the low-hanging fruit, because
Yeah.
let me tell you about middle-aged white ladies in offices. Like,
Yeah,
not my
yeah.
office now, because I like my job now, but like I've worked in 1,000,001 offices where like these middle-aged white ladies, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They come into work with their like Kraft mac and cheese like singles, you know, the little
Right.
cups, and like they fucking heat that shit up in the microwave, and like they couldn't imagine a world without cheese. What do you
Oh, yeah.
eat without cheese? And like, I know they do the same thing with meat, and they like usually like, not stereotype, but I feel like women have been a little bit more cool about like, oh, well, I could go without meat, but what about cheese?
Right.
And like men are so like, I need to eat meat.
Yeah, you know, if I don't eat 2 pounds of cow a day, like my penis will fall off or something. It literally feels like that. So with some of these guys, like, I don't know.
No, and
They're
there's
fucking
like
weird.
there's like academic theory behind that. I have a book called The Sexual Politics of Meat. It's
Right.
like a whole thing, but it's weird as fuck. And the bros, I think, we're specifically picking on because we were talking about like fitness and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
bodybuilding.
And like they can be really really weird and like annoying sometimes with like the meat, and like, well, like, okay, but like how are you gonna get protein? And like, I can get protein. I get up in the morning, I eat you know, a Cliff Bar or some protein pancakes or like a Whole Foods like sausage patty, and then in the afternoon I'll eat like lentil pasta or chickpea pasta with like some meat substitute in it or around it. And like for dinner we fuck tacos. Like, and like it's not just the meat substitutes, and it's not just tofu, and it's not just like the protein powders, but like I feel like people are forgetting about like that plants have protein.
Right.
Like even vegetables. Like I don't recommend getting all your protein from vegetables, but like there's protein in vegetables.
Yeah, I mean, there's protein in my like cereal, you know, and like so many things are fortified with protein. I don't know if that's the right word, like, but they have like added protein, and it's not significant, but it compounds. It all like goes together.
Right, and like, I mean, it's really bodybuilders that spend a lot of their time going like, we need meat, we need meat, we need protein powder. So maybe that's why I think like that. But like, no, you're right. Like, there's vegan and non-vegan yogurt that has
Yeah.
protein. That's not meat. You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of stuff that has protein. Like, even wheat pasta. If I were eating wheat pasta, I'd still be getting, 7 grams protein per serving. That doesn't feel like a lot. But if you're eating more than one serving, or you're eating more than just that day, that adds up.
Yeah. And I really like those protein muffins, the like chocolate
The
protein.
Kodiak cakes.
Oh my god.
They have flapjacks and waffles that I need them to make vegan.
Yeah.
Like, I want.
And a lot of this is like the baking, like with the muffins, we have like, I don't know. There's just so much you can do. Like we have egg replacements for baking the protein muffins or like whatever. And like, it's just fine, I guess. So where do we get our protein? We get it from everywhere.
Right. I
Every
mean,
day.
yeah, I feel like I get like mass amounts of protein from the mock meats and from soy, but also like the meal with the pasta, it's chickpea pasta and Beyond sausage and like pasta sauce, like bread sauce from Whole Foods. I think that has like 30 grams of protein in it
Yeah.
for under 500 calories. Like, obviously, yeah, you're getting carbs and fat too because you fucking need it. But, like, that meal is going to make me feel dope because it's got a ton of protein and it's got enough carbs to, like, fuel my workouts for all week this week. And, like, it's going to make me feel full and it's got plenty of fiber. Like,
Yeah.
what is your chicken and asparagus? Like, how does that add up?
Yeah, and it feels like protein is the big one, like that everyone is really concerned with, especially when it comes to vegans. But I mean, we could talk about the other diets like keto and all the like low carb and high fat stuff.
Stress me out.
Yeah,
There's vegan keto. You can do vegan keto.
right.
You're gonna like
Eat a lot of avocados.
well, that's the thing is one of the problems with keto that people have is that it's so high in saturated fat. And avocados are fairly high in saturated fat, which saturated fat, just like the best way that I can describe it is it's like it takes on a solid form at room temperature.
Yeah,
So like avocados, coconut oil, butters, shit like that. And a lot of oils have a ton of saturated fat. It's not just solid, but that's not healthy to get that much saturated fat or to get all of your like calories from saturated fat. So like Unnatural Vegan tried to do like a lower saturated fat vegan keto.
yeah,
She was fucking miserable.
yeah.
It was a nightmare. I don't know what she did. And like, I think she ate some avocados here and there, but like, you can do it. It can be done. It can be done healthily, but I don't know, man. I like carbs. I'm not trying to go into ketosis. It's not going to help me.
No, I don't know.
I'm just annoyed by keto.
I don't. Yeah, like it's not like I know everything that anyone is supposed to know about like diet and stuff. And obviously some health conditions have different dietary needs. But I feel like the only thing people ever give me shit about or have like as an overweight person is like eat fewer carbs and like eat more protein and like I don't know.
Dropping carbs is always like the first thing that people do.
Yeah.
Because like we eat the most carbs out of any other like food, like out of any other macronutrient, and you won't die if you eat less than 5% of your like daily like what do you call it from carbs?
Yeah.
Like calories. Like you won't die. So a lot of people choose to just manipulate carbs because a lot of like if you go too low on fats, that can fuck with your hormones, it can fuck with your brain. If you go too low on protein, that's not going to really help you feel any better. You're not going to feel satiated and full. So dropping carbs is people's first option.
Okay.
But like it's dumb as fuck to just say, oh, cut carbs.
Yeah. And they go like really extreme with it, like just avoiding all carbs. And like, I don't know, I'm specifically remembering like the South Beach diet and like the Atkins diet.
You
where,
know more about those than me, I think.
Yeah, I had like a fucking doctor tell me that I should be on the South Beach or the Atkins diet. And he would have been totally fine with me eating a pound of bacon every morning.
Ew.
As long as I wasn't eating white bread or really any bread.
Yeah, because eating a
Yeah.
pound of bacon with all of the saturated fat and cholesterol and the no fiber that comes with that is A-okay
Yeah.
and totally healthy.
Yeah.
But white bread, White
Right.
bread is the problem. Not that white bread is necessarily good for you, but fuck.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if that's what the current like climate is like for fat people.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I mean, I know that like avoiding carbs is still the thing, and with like the popularity that keto has gained, I feel like
That feels like the new one, like the new Atkins South Beach.
I don't know how different keto is from Atkins. I don't know anything about South Beach. Basically, I know that they sold products,
Right.
but keto, the main distinction of keto is that you are tracking your like carb intake such that less than 5% of your daily calories has to come from carbs.
Right.
Like, and I think they have like a specific amount for fats and proteins. Like, it's like moderate protein and really high fat, but the low carb is really the thing.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer because the keto diet can be like really, really helpful for people like with epilepsy,
Yeah.
but not. Here's the thing. People lose weight on keto all the time. All the time. And you want to know why? Because they went from eating McDonald's or eating fucking just whatever hamburger helper they threw together in the kitchen because they either were like uneducated or they didn't care about their diets, and then they decided they really, really wanted to lose weight. And having like a really like regimented and
Gotta stop mid-sentence for the sip of lemonade.
I was gross. I needed
Okay.
to wet my whistle.
Okay.
But having like tracking your food and doing it in such a way that's like extremely restricted and regimented is like, it teaches you how to not act like an asshole with your food.
Yeah.
So, and like seeing people eat keto, you can absolutely go off the rails. You can absolutely eat just like shit on keto. Just eat straight bacon all day long. And that's totally cool. That's in the rules. But a lot of people, because they're tracking their food, are changing their choices and making different choices and choosing, you know, like to have their little bit of carbs come from vegetables instead of coming from whatever the pasta and hamburger helper is, or the bread from McDonald's burgers and shit. Like, so obviously when you're eating less like an asshole, you're making better choices, or when you're tracking, you're eating less like an asshole, and then you lose weight. Duh.
Yeah.
I don't think that's good for you necessarily all the time, or I really think it's super bad for animals. Like, if you're gonna go keto, go vegan keto.
Yeah. But you make an interesting point about tracking, I guess, and that's something you do, and something I've done a little bit in the past is tracking, and that really, I mean, I guess that gives you some actual data for like where your protein comes from and
Yeah, no, I have
shit like that. You have hard evidence.
I have numbers.
Yeah. So talk about tracking maybe.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Right.
I use it when I'm talking about stuff like keto, and when people change their diets in a way that I think is not necessarily the smartest way, but they're like, oh, this is working for me. Like, yeah, it's working for you because you're being held accountable. That's all tracking is you're looking at, like, what am I eating? How much of it am I eating? And then you have to record that somehow. Like,
Yeah.
some people are like old style and just use like a journal, a book. I use MyFitnessPal. There's like a billion different apps that you can use. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. And you literally have to look at the food that you're eating and write that shit down. And that's humbling, because you're like, fuck, if I eat all of these tater tots, I have to write them down. And I can't just write, oh, I ate a serving. I ate just a handful of tater tots. Like, no, you didn't. And you know you didn't. And like, I've definitely been that person that like cheats on tracking so that my numbers can look good.
Oh, Jesus.
And like, the only person you're cheating is yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you're the dumbass. Like,
Yeah. No.
and that's when you're like, oh, I'm eating 1,500 calories. I'm not losing any weight. Like, yeah, because you're eating 2,000 calories.
Right.
Easy.
Yeah, I didn't like tracking. But I thought it was cool how it broke down like what your macros were and where they came from, and you're able to like set goals within the app. And
On MyFitnessPal.
yeah, I like that. I can't
Chronometer's
imagine-
nice too.
I've used Chronometer too, right?
Chronometer gives you a really, really extensive breakdown of your nutrients, and I think
Right.
you can get most of that on MyFitnessPal, but Chronometer does it in kind of a cool way in that it has like a little progress bar, almost like, so you can
Yeah.
see your progress for vitamin D or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Like,
I remember that, and then like you would eat one chip, and then it'd be like you have 1,000% of vitamin. Fuck you, like because
Yeah.
there's a lot of little obscure vitamins that they want you to get, and you only need like a drop.
right, like selenium. If you
yeah.
eat more than like a couple of Brazil nuts, you're going like way over the recommended
Yeah.
amount of selenium. But people are always bitching about vegans not getting enough selenium, or like nutrition people bitch about vegans not getting
Right.
enough selenium.
Yeah,
And like, if I eat a handful of Brazil nuts every day, I'm gonna die from too much selenium. Literally, I don't like Brazil nuts, so I'm super in the clear.
yeah.
B12.
I don't know. That's another thing that they bitch about with vegans, right? Is B12.
Yeah, because B12 is the only vitamin you can't get from plants,
Okay.
unless you eat dirt. And I say that because B12 is a vitamin that's found in soil. And the reason that we get it from animals is because animals eat the soil.
Right.
Or animals eat, like, I mean, they get some of the soil when they're eating their,
they
like,
eat the shit down there.
right.
So, yeah.
Right. And then that goes into their bodies, and then we consume that if you eat animals. The bummer is the way that factory farming is. Most animals aren't just eating off of the ground.
Right.
So most people that aren't vegans are deficient in B12.
Right.
And I feel the need to make that extremely clear because people be picking on vegans, but all y'all are B12 deficient, and you can fucking see that by all the B12 shops popping up in every
Yeah.
mall in America.
Yeah,
Just
that's the main
everyone's got a
reason I
B12
wanted
shop.
to talk about it. Because I see that, like, B12, like, a little boutique or something. And what are they even doing in there? What is it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I know that you can take it as like a supplement, like in a pill form.
Right.
You can get that from Target. Like
Right.
You can get that from anywhere that sells vitamins. You can get B12. And a lot of like multivitamins have B12 because most Americans are lower in B12 than we should be.
Yeah.
You can get it as like an oral spray.
Okay.
Like like the spray like you'd spray in your throat if you're sick or something to
Yeah.
like numb it. Except it's B12. You can get it as like a shot, like a vaccine.
yeah.
And I think there's other ways, and I don't know which of those ways the B12 store is like selling.
Maybe all of them. Maybe it's like a Toys R Us for vitamin B12.
That's so weird.
I don't know.
But like most soy and almond milk or most vegan milks are fortified with B12.
Right. I see that on
Yeah.
the milk we get. Yeah.
No, if you're like drinking soy milk or almond milk on any sort of regular basis, you're getting a fair amount of B12. If you're supplementing with vitamins, you're getting a fair amount of it. Like, you want to be like keeping an eye out for it, I guess,
Yeah.
but not to the extent that some people treat like, oh, I can't be vegan because I'll be missing out on B12.
Right.
And like, there's no reason to. You're not eating meat for the B12.
No, and it's such bullshit, but people think like this big slab of red meat or whatever is like healthy and
It's so nutritious.
right. And I guess it's little things like that. It's like protein, it's like B12. I guess I don't know, iron, but like doesn't all
Iron.
the green shit have iron?
Yeah, anything that's
Yeah.
leafy dark green has iron, and like that's one of those other things too that it's fortified.
Right.
It's in a lot of vegetables, and it's in a lot of mock meats. You can supplement for it, and it's really fucking easy and cheap to supplement for iron.
Yeah.
Like, do not eat meat for iron.
Right.
It's dumb as fuck. It's super easy to get it.
Yeah.
I don't worry about iron anymore, and I don't have any problems with anything that's linked to iron deficiency. And
Yeah.
like, I'm not a doctor, and like my anecdotal evidence isn't necessarily all the evidence you can get, but I know it's easy to supplement for it.
Yeah, these things just are non-issues, but it seems like such big things for the meat eaters to like throw in your face when they're defending, their slab of bacon or whatever. It's like,
Right, especially
I
in
need this.
fitness. Like,
yeah,
you know what I fucking did when I was not a vegan for fitness? I sat on my ass and I watched
Yeah.
the Kardashians because I wasn't interested in it. And like, I hadn't been interested in it in a long time. And it wasn't until I became vegan that I became interested in fitness.
right.
So all of the gains that I've made have been like not left over from whatever meat I was eating before. These
Yeah.
are all plant. This is a plant body.
Right.
Talk to me about your like fitness, because you were an athlete before you went vegan and like you're an athlete now.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the difference.
I mean, I've had every body type there is pretty much. I've been super slim and I've been like really fat. I've been an athlete and I've been pretty sedentary. I don't know. When I was in high school, I was in cross country. I was pretty fast and I ate meat, I guess. I ate like shit. I ate Taco Bell and McDonald's and Burger King, and like then I would go run.
Could you imagine
And-
being 18 again?
Oh my God.
Just
You can
doing
do
that.
that when you're 18, right? So it was super easy. And obviously, I didn't feel like my diet was holding me back. I mean, if I had put some effort into my diet, maybe I would have been like better at doing things. Because I wasn't even eating healthy in terms of like a healthy meat diet. Like, I was just eating like shit.
You were just eating whatever the hell.
Yeah.
And like it didn't matter
No.
because you just needed calories, and like your coach didn't care. Your coach wasn't telling you to go home and cook some fucking skinless chicken breasts
Right.
with like, broccoli and asparagus on the side and no carbs. In fact, your coach probably told you should eat carbs.
He had like no opinions on what we
Really?
ate.
Interesting.
Yeah. I guess it's because when you're young like that, it doesn't mean as much, maybe.
I
don't
guess
know.
as long as you're
It
eating and you're not
does.
getting sick,
Yeah.
like I guess they don't give a fuck, right? Like you're performing.
Right. And I mean, he wasn't going to mandate us too much. Like, we already had like pretty serious practice schedules and things. I don't think he was trying to like climb into our lives in terms of like everything we ate. So yeah, that was in high school. I was super fast, super slim, and eating like shit. And then, I mean, it kind of fluctuated. I definitely ate healthy meat, or like, what I would think of as like healthy meat diet. And I was fine then. And then since I've been vegan, because when we went vegan, I was pretty fat and eating like whatever. And then going vegan, I felt better pretty quick to a point where I was running again.
No,
And
we have some progress pictures.
nice.
We have some progress pictures of you, and what I think is really, really interesting in the progress pictures, like it's like a month before we went vegan, I think, that we
Yeah.
took the first one, so we have to dig them up. But you're extremely red
Yeah.
in them, and not like your whole body is just red, like the light is fucked up in the pictures or something, but like kind of like splotchy red.
Yeah.
So I think that going vegan helped with that inflammation, and I think for you that was largely like a dairy thing.
Yeah.
Did your body really hates dairy?
Nah, dairy is bad.
It's nasty as fuck.
But yeah, I mean, I guess my experience with that is that it didn't make much of a difference. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're like eating enough and eating the right things, I don't see it making a huge difference. I know I feel better mentally as a vegan, like emotionally, because I love animals and it feels good to not
Right.
eat them. But as far as like physical, like being able to run and stuff, it doesn't make much of a difference to me.
I feel, yeah, I can't say that I feel similarly because I didn't lift before I was a vegan. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't like get into that culture before I went vegan, because I feel like I would have gotten so sucked into whey protein and egg whites and chicken breast that I would have had a much harder time getting out. But as it stood, I didn't like meat. I know we talked about our vegan journey before, but I really, like, meat wasn't the top of my list. It wasn't that I didn't like it. Like, we made plenty of bacon in our time, but that wasn't gonna make me strong. And like, I don't know. I think part of what happens is I went vegan, and I think I see some of this in other people too, but you go vegan and you become conscious of what you're eating, and once you figure out how to not eat like total garbage, or you figure out how to eat food that's fulfilling and makes you feel good, you start to take an interest in like your overall health.
Yeah. I think going vegan really helped me just be aware of, like you said, I was like super aware of what I was eating, because you have to be if you want to hold yourself to a strict like vegan diet.
Right.
And yeah, when you really start looking at labels and when you really start considering like what you're going to put in your body, then it becomes important.
Right. You realize the
On all
stupid
levels.
shit that
Yeah.
you were just eating before with abandon. Like, you're like, oh, fuck, this has 400 calories in it, and it's a side item. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And you feel less compelled to eat that all the time, or you're not just picking it up and eating it. And that's the same for me. Like, I just feel more conscious of what I'm eating, and therefore healthier. And as someone who lifts and doesn't do cardio, I don't do as good of a job as like people that do more cardio, because like as long as I don't eat a total fucking just big bag of garbage before I go work out, I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah. But if I eat like a lot of sugar and oil or something, I
Before
do
you
feel
run.
nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess in that regard. But I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, one thing I think is interesting is like when you talk about going vegan with other people, a lot of times they have really silly questions about like, oh, is that vegan? It has blank in it, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
people
and
have
they'll be
a hard
amazed.
time.
They'll be amazed if something is vegan. Like, what do you mean like pasta sauce is vegan or something? Like,
Right, because they just
confused.
they don't have that food awareness that we were
Yeah,
talking about. They're
yeah.
not walking around in the grocery store every single time they shop, unless they're buying the same things over and over again. They're not checking the labels
right.
like we are. Like, we go to the grocery store, if we want to try new things, the first thing we do is look at the label, unless we're like in
Yeah.
Whole Foods or something where pretty much everything has a little V on the front of it if
Right.
it's vegan. But like, or when you go to restaurants, you have to like really fucking pay attention and like,
when you ask a server if something is vegan and they have no fucking clue, and they kind of like they sit there and think, and they're like, oh, it has whatever in it. Is that vegan? And
it's
like,
always gluten. It's always fucking
Yeah.
gluten. The people are like, well, it has bread. And I'm like, okay, what's the bread got? And they're
Oh my
like, it was
gosh.
gluten. Like,
yeah.
girl, I don't care. Give me the gluten.
Yeah. My mom asked me if we like ate bread or something
I
pretty soon
know.
after we went vegan.
And it's a bummer because some bread has eggs and milk in it.
Yeah.
And like, so like, yes and no.
Yeah. It's super funny to realize about your own personal food awareness and like how conscious you are, because I certainly wasn't until we went vegan. And then once you get that kind of food awareness, you can like judge other people on their food awareness, and it feels like, I don't know, it feels like no one knows what they're eating.
No, I always feel a little bit appalled. There was a
Yeah.
woman that I used to work with who was amazing. I fucking loved her. She was so nice. But she was really just sort of anti-vegan in like a really interesting way.
Yeah.
And part of it was because she literally didn't know what was vegan and what wasn't.
Right.
And like, I brought her something. It was like one of my last days working there. Oh, I brought her some Bark Thins. You know, like the dark
Yeah, I love
chocolate
those.
Bark Thin, like the little pretzel with the, yes.
Yeah.
I brought her those, and she like dug into them, and I was like, those are vegan. And she was like, really? And like, she's eating them, and like the Bark Thins, they're very like sweet and salty, and like it's just a really, really good
Right.
sweet salty snack, if that's like the combination that gets you going. And she was like shook that it was vegan. And I like told her, I was like, you know, there's so much food that's vegan. There's so much food. And for some reason, I think she just associated vegan food with it being nasty,
Yeah.
which, to be fair, we've put out our fair share of mock meats and cheeses and stuff that have been fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
We're getting better.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing that, you know, people who really don't know about veganism, if you tell them you're vegan, they'll be like, oh, so you eat lettuce, LOL. So you eat, like, a rabbit. And, yeah.
Like, yeah. And it's so fucked up for me because, like, I'll try to hold most of the Twitter beef conversation because I know we wanted to record an episode specifically on that. But recently somebody said something along the lines of, like, it's not natural to just eat vegetables all the time. And I was like, this bitch thinks I eat vegetables.
Yeah.
And, like, you see me because we live together. I'm making a really conscious effort to try to eat vegetables every day because that is not something that happens.
It's hilarious.
Last week, I didn't eat any vegetables.
Okay, last week when we went grocery shopping, we bought 4 vegetables, 2 onions and 2 peppers.
That was for you.
I know, for one, like, special tofu scramble. We don't buy vegetables, we don't eat vegetables, like...
I mean, unless potatoes count. And
Yeah,
if they
even-
count when they're fried, then I'm eating a lot of vegetables.
Yeah, if frozen, cut, fried potatoes count,
I'm golden.
yeah, just like those potatoes. Crispy.
But, like, you're right. It's such an idea that, like, we eat lettuce or we eat vegetables. And when you and I first went vegan, we certainly fucking thought that because we were just eating fruit and vegetables all the time. And, like, fruit and vegetables are healthy. Eat them. Don't be like me.
Right.
But, like, I literally could eat beans and rice 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
No problems. No questions. I'll do it. I don't give a fuck. I'll eat potatoes, especially if they're fried. I'll eat tacos. And, like, my tacos don't have vegetables. I don't put any vegetables on my tacos.
Unless, like, hot sauce counts. Is hot sauce a vegetable? I don't know. So, yeah. I mean, and it's not like we just eat beans and rice. Like, it's not like it's just vegetables or, like, just beans or something. There's literally just a limitless world of food.
And that's what I think
And
is really important.
Yeah.
As, like, if you're just living a sedentary lifestyle, whatever, like, this is important to you. If you're an athlete, this is important to you. Like, but you want to eat a varied diet. And, like, that's what I kind of struggle with sometimes because I have the urges to eat the same thing every day for just 6 months. I'm very picky. I'm very annoying. But, like, eating a varied diet of whole grains, legumes, fruits, vegetables, like, that's what you should be doing. Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't just be eating necessarily all raw fruits and vegetables unless you've figured out a way to make that work for you, in which case, please let me know. Or, like, just eating beans and rice like me because I'm an asshole. Like, you gotta try to, like, fucking build shit in. And I feel the best as an athlete. I feel best, like, I really feel generous calling myself an athlete, but I feel I feel the best performance-wise in the gym when I'm eating a varied diet of, like, healthy foods. Like, today I ate a whole plate of tater tots.
Yeah.
Completely alone. My childhood self is extremely proud that I did that.
Wait, did you eat the whole bag?
I ate half the bag.
Half the bag. Okay. That's normal.
Still really bad.
Yeah. I never even saw those tater tots come out. I had no clue.
No, the plate's still sitting on the coffee table.
I
I fucking destroyed them.
can't remember you eating them.
I took pretty much no time at all to do it.
Yeah.
I'm a bad person. But, like, when I go to the gym later today, I'm not going to feel better for that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to feel necessarily so terrible because my body's pretty resilient to junk food by now. But, like, if I had eaten maybe something a little more whole or something a little more nutrient dense, I would do a little bit of a better job, I think, or I'd at least feel better. I know I'm going to break out tomorrow from all the tater tots, but, like, like, my gym performance isn't going to be any better for it. And, like, that's important. Like, because I get plenty of protein from all the fucking plants. Soy is fine. Like, I'm doing okay. The tater tots are a minor misstep.
Yeah.
But how do you feel? Like, if you were gonna run today.
Yeah. Which I might.
Oh my god.
Can't tell. I'm feeling my shin splint right now to decide if I'm gonna run.
I'm not the only stubborn asshole in this household.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I could run.
But like,
Yeah, I didn't eat the tater tots, so like, if I had eaten the tater tots, then no, maybe I wouldn't. I might not run. But yeah,
if you were gonna like eat like optimally for your running performance, what might you eat like as like regular meals?
I mean, I would just avoid like super heavy, like. For me, when I think like super heavy food, a lot of times it's stuff really drenched in oil or fried.
So really calorically dense.
Yeah. Like if I eat stuff like that, if I eat candy, you know, I'm not gonna feel as good when I go running. Within
Right.
reason. I mean, I'm still gonna do it. It just won't be as fun.
Yeah, that's the thing with lifting weights, and that's the thing with like anybody that lifts at all, is like intra workout carbs are such a thing, and like
Yeah.
it's so easy to bring like Rice Krispie treats or Skittles or whatever to the gym and like snack on those while you work out as like a way to like fuel you.
Yeah.
Like it's harder to bring rice or potatoes, you know?
Right.
But like it's such a thing. So like I definitely don't have to adhere to that in terms of my eating. I don't have to necessarily say like, oh, I can't eat this before I work out, unless it's raw broccoli. That I cannot eat before I do pretty much anything. I pretty much can't eat raw broccoli.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like bloated.
Yeah, it really upsets my stomach.
Yeah.
Like I will be 9 months pregnant by the end of the day if I eat raw broccoli.
There you go. So yeah, we get protein.
Plenty of it, like enough of it. And also remember that you don't necessarily have to get as much protein as like people say you have to get. Like
Yeah.
I know some vegans take this a little too far.
Right.
No one in the US that we know of has died from protein deficiency.
Really?
Yeah, they're from what I understand, disclaimer, I'm not a scientist, I'm a dumbass. But from what I understand, no one has ever died of a protein deficiency. Does
Right.
that mean you should aim for 30 grams of protein a day? No. But like relative to your size and what's reasonable for you, like eat the amount of protein that works for you and makes you feel good. Like I feel better when I'm eating a high protein diet.
Yeah.
If I'm eating like less than 70 grams of protein in a day, I feel hungrier. I'm more likely to snap and eat half a bag of tater tots. I'm more likely to just eat garbage because I'm more hungry. I'm less satisfied, and I feel like usually if I'm eating a higher protein diet, it means I'm eating fairly healthy for the day.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I've started the day with garbage, I might as well just keep it going.
Yeah, you do that. You really throw away the day if you have like, you know,
It's
a
time for
candy or
candy.
something. Like you might as well eat tater tots and ice cream and Red Bull, and that's okay. You can have days like that, right?
It just can't be every day,
Yeah.
because I will fall apart. My body will stop running on me. I'm like just young enough to enjoy the fruits of not feeling like garbage every time I eat something a little bit bad.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not that young. I'm not young enough that I don't suffer some consequences. Like
Right.
the tater tots aren't gonna make me feel good. I am gonna break out.
No. But yeah, so
I don't know. I feel like we said what we said, and
all right, we've
Yeah.
said our piece.
yeah, I mostly just bitched. We talked about, what did we talk about? We talked about protein, we talked about soy, we talked about shit, we talked about cricket farms and mealworm farms in the house.
Yeah, I mean that feels complete.
We
like
talked-
complete cookies, which are a great way to get protein.
No, they're
and a
not.
Sweet. They're not.
They're not a great way to get protein.
They're so good. I'm sorry.
Okay, listen. It's a fine way to enjoy a snack that has a little bit of protein in it.
Yeah.
I can't fucking recommend them in terms of like a source of protein, because it's so heavy on carbs and fat and sugar
Yes.
and calories.
Yes.
If that's what you want, I'm happy for you.
Okay.
But if you're looking for like a healthy protein source, that is not your guy.
Don't have a complete cookie casserole for dinner.
Could you imagine? I would absolutely, since they changed their formula, I would not be able to survive the dinner. I would absolutely pass out.
And there we go. Bye.
Bye. I was gonna sneeze.
Oh, sneeze.
No, I'm good now. You made me say bye.
Oh, are we saying bye? I'm still recording. We can cut
We
in.
said bye.
All right, want to say it once normal in case we want to cut that one in?
Sure.
Bye.
Bye.